why can't we just watch TV for fun? And it's just my escape. Meh. And it's like, I don't know, bitch, because it's 2026.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I'm Ramona Ramirez Higgins. Hi.
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 Well, Summer House Reunion seems to be brought to us by the word fraudulent.
Fraudulent.
Everybody keeps using the word fraudulent, and it could not be more appropriate, but it does make me laugh how it has come out of every single person's mouth, at least on that side of the couch, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, speaking of fraudulent, thank God this was fraudulent because less than 12 hours after you and I recorded last week's episode talking about how much we both love KJ and Dara, there were rumors going around that, well, they had technically unfollowed each other on socials and deleted pictures of one another. Thankfully, it was all because KJ was releasing a song / video of which starred Dara anyway. So it was all to get us to pay attention. I didn't appreciate that, especially given the gravity of what KJ has shared lately about what was going on with them after filming Wrapped last season and just how intense it was. Listen, I'm not out here trying to tell this sweet, beautiful, honest young man what to do, but I do not appreciate this part of social media in general.
It seemed out of character for KJ, that's for sure.
It did. For both of them even. I don't know.
Whatever.
I know.
It's, I'm sure he has a PR team or, you know what I mean?
You're
sure
right.
someone advised
I'm
him
sure
to do
Dara
this.
does too.
And it worked, you know? It
sure
really
did.
sure did work. So
we were glued. So
Yeah.
I was just really glad. I was really glad that it was just to create a buzz.
I'm ready for Dara to have like a whole talk show.
Oh
like
my God.
Her, like 2 minutes in this hour and 15-minute episode were my favorite. I wrote down every word of her fucking speech because she read West for filth and was so direct with Amanda. And I was like, oh, give this girl a daytime talk show. Let's fucking go.
And she sounded earnest and it didn't sound rehearsed. It was just honesty. You know how you always talk about when, like, how much effort it takes to lie? You know, West and Amanda are so pained with everything they're saying. Every time they open their mouth to speak, it's just a lot of effort because they're trying to make us buy their bullshit. Contrast to Dara walks in and she's just sharing her experience and her observations. Abandon hope, y'all who enter here. This is up to you. This is your choice. So honest.
Well, and more than anything, it's her experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
She dated West.
Yeah.
So this is the source who speaks with authority and clarity on the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm so with you. West and Amanda just seem tortured because even though they came up with all of these, they clearly like laid out their game plan, and I feel like they have been for months.
Disgusting.
But I did notice at the end when West creepily advises Amanda how to behave, he tells her to, like, you know, breathe, apologize, and keep it simple. And I was like, how about tell the truth? Like, anytime I'm at a loss, I'm so grateful that my mom always would say to us, the easiest story to remember is the truth. And I'm always at this stage of my life, especially, I'm just like, I have no face to save anymore. So if I don't know something, I'll just ask the question. If I am at a loss, I'll just tell the truth. Even if I briefly feel like an asshole, I won't come off like Amanda and West are, like people who are trying to keep it together and have a pretty good story that they worked out. Like, why aren't you guys getting on board? Because it's phony. It's fucking phony. It is, back to one, fraudulent. And it stinks.
Lol. It does.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, and it's also, I know what you're doing. Like my dad used to say when I was growing up, I would never say this around a child. I find it highly inappropriate and not at all relevant. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. Like very sage advice to give to another grown up. But
Also a great line from Role Models, which is a great movie.
oh, I don't know if I've seen that. Have
It's
I?
so dumb. It's Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott. And
Oh
it's
God,
so
no, I
stupid
haven't.
and it's so dumb and great. Anyways, Jane Lynch says, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter" a number
Yeah.
of times in that movie, and it's fabulous. Anyways,
Yeah. Oh God. And then having this roll into In the City, I take it all back. I take it all back. Like watching it. There were 2 or 3 times last night, and again, I have been watching Bravo for 20 years. I've been watching these shows, these housewives, these young people shows, Vanderpump Rules for 20 years. I'm not even talking about like the high class shit like Tabitha Takes Over and Millionaire Matchmaker. I watched that shit too. I'm just saying I've watched it all. The fact that my mouth dropped open probably 3 times. I was watching by myself last night during this episode and then during the In the City. Like I'm rarely shocked watching this shit now. Offended? Sure. Disgusted? Absolutely. Taken aback? Shocked by what I've seen? Blown back? No. No. That doesn't happen. It happened during Summer House last night and it happened during In the City too.
In the City
Damn.
was excruciating.
Wow.
Oof. And it just feels so, it's obviously like so happening, you know, like, I don't know. It was just disgusting. And Amanda is a bad liar. Everyone thinks that they'll be so good at it. Yeah. And she's also just, yeah, she's made herself completely unsympathetic. It's kind of amazing. But it is interesting. This part of the reunion, all the bad guys were kind of jockeying for their victimhood still, West, Amanda, and Kyle. And I was like, everybody, hang it up. Nobody's a winner. Amanda and West are the worst, but Kyle,
I know.
you're not great, dude. And you are going through something horrible right now, starting with the divorce and including this betrayal. But like, when, you know, I loved Andy Cohen when Kyle was like, was the Kyle show that bad? And Andy Cohen was like, it had its moments. Like, yes, sir. We've been watching you for 10 years. The Kyle show sucks. You can be a real piece of work, sir.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
complicated.
It's
Nothing
complicated.
is black and white.
It's really complicated. It's really complicated. And the thing that just keeps striking me over and over, and the thing that I'm working on in therapy now more than ever, now meaning 2026, is noticing why my reactions are so strong, noticing why after years and years of not liking Kyle Cook, now I am seated for his redemption story. And I hear myself say that out loud. And I want to be honest. I don't want to be fraudulent behind this mic. I don't want to be fucking fraudulent looking one of my best friends in the eye and talking about this shit. Even if we weren't recording right now, I don't want to lie. But if I'm 100% honest and I am getting curious about it, I feel so glad that he is able to shake off maybe stuff that he didn't have to be wearing, that I was dressing him in. Does that make sense?
That's what Ciara said.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I wasn't willing to look at this from your side.
Yeah.
Until she blew this up in such a massive way that I started to consider there might be another side to this.
And of course, I also know why, is because I have a hard time with alcoholic energy. I have a hard time with behavior like Kyle's. So I know why he triggered me over the years. I can probably confidently look you in the eye and say this, that this definitely touches on something early for me, not being heard and looking around like, is no one seeing what I'm seeing? Is no one hearing what I'm hearing? Why am I having to like scream about what's going on and everyone's just like, la, la, la. So I think that that unheard young part in me is really happy for the unheard part in Kyle. Whether he deserves it or not, I don't know. I'm just getting curious about why my heart is suddenly open to this person that it has been very closed off from the majority of the time I've watched him.
I just think I have to operate from a place of like everyone deserves it. Because if we start finding reasons why people don't deserve to have a redemption arc, then I'm fucked, the world is fucked. Like people have to grow up and get better, you know? And I like seeing that again, Carl Radke.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody go back and watch seasons 1 and 2 and you won't recognize the man sitting on the couch last night. Like this is a totally different dude. Jesse Solomon's had a full 180 and I believe him. And like I don't know, like I think it's hopeful that people can grow and change. And I have to say, like watching Kyle on In the City, he's a totally different person, which is scary in some regard. Like, oh, so you drink and you do become an absolutely different entity. Yikes. But it's also like, oh, Kyle is like a coherent professional person. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'd literally never considered that could even be so. So fascinating program on Bravo right now.
Very just riveting, fascinating. So many opportunities and invitations to ask myself questions about myself, you know?
Mm-hmm. Always,
And always, always. And that is why I love Bravo so damn much. So we're here to discuss Summer House, Season 10, Episode 18, the reunion Part 2. I don't know why I said last week that we were talking about Episode 19. There is no Episode 19 until next week. But,
I'm sure I fucked that up.
No.
That's what, oh no, I think I did because that's what you're the one who's great at seasons, episode numbers, and titles, and I think you know,
I don't think so.
It's not my forte. What are you
It's
gonna
so
do?
funny. I was like, what, Ramona, do you even need to bring this up? But like, I over-index, you know, like I notice, I listen to every episode and I notice everything. If I mispronounce something or if I use incorrect grammar or if I say something that doesn't make sense because my brain was jumping around, I can focus on it. And it's like, no one gives a rat's ass. Everyone's got so much going on. No one's going to care. No one's going to care.
Yes. And mostly I like to think people are like multitasking. I don't think anyone sits down to like just have a listen. Like I think people are driving.
I know what
or,
you're saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I try to
Yeah.
be when I listen to other podcasts, like I hear people make errors and I can't think of a single one in this moment. 'Cause
I can't
that's how
either.
irrelevant they are in the grand
Totally.
scheme of things. And I'd never unfollowed a podcast because of incorrect grammar. Like
I
who
know.
gives a shit?
I know. Yeah. So I'm so excited to talk about this with you. So we resume the episode back on the soundstage after Ciara's blazingly accurate read on Amanda that she's perfect for West because she's mute. And if on cue, Amanda's white women tears start, and I just wrote, fuck off. I'm angry. My honest feelings, I am angry at her. And the more I watch her, the more she talks on the reunion, the more I see her on In the City, the more angry I am at her. I am very angry at her.
I mean, it's weird. Like, I understand why she's crying. That's devastating. What Ciara said to her was absolutely cutting. And I just wish she would tell the truth and just say, like, I probably deserve that. And it's just so hard to hear because, like, I mean, I'm just saying, if someone said that to me, I would respond honestly and say, I probably deserve that. I've obviously caused so much harm here and I'm, whatever. Tears are generally involuntary. So I understand why Amanda was crying, but God, boy, it's hard to feel anything but contempt for her the way she's behaving. This was just such a bad play. I don't get it.
Totally.
So we're coming off of Lindsay saying that West manipulates women, and once he's used them up for his purposes, he drops them unceremoniously and disrespectfully. And Lindsay, talk about honest. I loved this. She says, he's definitely going to do it to you, Amanda. And she says she's gotten close with Amanda over the last year and feels bamboozled in a lot of ways, but also still feels protective of Amanda. And like, again, that's a hard thing to feel for Amanda because she's not making herself real sympathetic here. But I appreciated Lindsay saying that because, like, I think we as an audience might all feel remnants of that too. But we're not close. I'm not close enough to Amanda to actually give a shit, but it's nice that someone in her circle is trying to alert her. You in danger, girl. And then Kyle asks Amanda what is her understanding of West's relationship with Meija, the girlfriend who was revealed at the end of last episode. And West jumps in to say, well, it's well covered in the press who I hook up with every once in a while. And just real quick, we'll cut to the end of the episode where we find out they've been dating for over a year and he calls her his girlfriend. They express love to each other. So West here saying someone he hooks up with every once in a while is psycho. And Lindsay's response could not be more on point when she says, Wes, you're a pathy and we believe nothing. And I believe that's short for pathological liar.
Oh, I believe it's short for pathological liar as well. Pathy.
And I believe she's correct. West is a pathy, and we believe nothing.
It is disgusting, the lengths that this man went to, and I'm going to say it, and if people want to disagree with me or roll their eyes at what I'm going to say, I'm okay with that. I need to be honest about my experience dating white guys as a Latina and seeing what he's done. There are 3 women of color, 2 women of color, 1 black woman that he has unceremoniously disrespected since he's been on our screens. And who's the one that he's taken to a wedding in Italy? The white girl. I'm just saying this is not by mistake.
Well, that's what KJ says.
This is not by mistake. And I have been the one that's been, I don't want to say on the down low, but like I wasn't committed to, but the white girl was. Or unbeknownst to me, there was a white girl that was committed to, but I was the unknowing side chick.
KJ does bring this up in a little bit, and I do think you're correct in a lot of ways, but I also think West would never have claimed Amanda had this not blown up. Were there not a threat of a video of the 2 of them engaged intimately, this would never have come out. He would have buried her, and like Lindsay says, he will. When the time is right, he'll bury her. Like, I don't think West, I mean, I think he's incredibly careless. Again, having had this conversation this season about race and how fraught it is for Ciara to date white men in a public way, it's so extra callous. But I don't think West gives a shit about any woman he dates. And I do think it's especially harmful to the women of color he draws in. But like, I honestly don't think Amanda's any different. The way he sat with her, like there was the resentment is already there. It's what he said to Ciara, like he resents the women he's with, especially if they receive some sort of favorable edit at any point. And Amanda will, because she's dumb and West is manipulative. So everyone eventually will be like, yeah, Amanda was just another victim of West. And he'll be fine. I don't know. The whole thing's disgusting.
He's scary.
I agree.
He's scary. He's scary because he's not as overt. Yeah. He's really scary. Like it's easier. I don't know. I've never fallen for from the limited experience I have with like the guys on Southern Charm, Shep, Austin, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, like I know that they are, to some women, they're very highly desirable men that you want to be with. I don't see it personally. I can sense their danger. Do you know what I'm saying? I couldn't sense West's danger until it came out. And that's why he is terrifying. And I think that is probably why some people, when they're discussing him online, have used the word predatory. And it's caused a lot of like, oh, okay, are we really going to use the word predatory? But when I break it down like that, like, because it's like, I feel like the Southern Charm guys are like walking red flags.
They lead with misogyny and racism.
Thank you.
And wealth.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
They make no secret of like, yes, we're better than you. Do you want to date me?
Right.
And the women that they encounter often say, oh, well, yes, of course.
Exactly.
Because you're better than me. So
exactly.
Yeah, they make no secret of who they are and what they value.
But West had me fooled
Me
as a
too.
middle-aged, fully formed person that tries to like look at herself all the time and like why I do the things I do and blah, blah, blah. And so I feel like that's why he's dangerous. He's scary.
Well, and he fooled people in his inner circle.
His inner circle,
KJ,
dude,
Ciara,
Jesse.
like everybody. And it is really scary. And he makes everything everyone else's fault. Even just saying to Amanda, like, should I speak up for you more?
Oh
Or
my
it's like, why don't
God.
you, who are you? What do you want to do, dude? Let's see who you are. But he won't ever do that. He'll always say, well, Amanda told me not to. Well, I'm not going to leave the stage. And then you guys call me a bitch for leaving the stage. It's like, what are you about? Nothing, or just scamming? Or like, I find him so slippery and deeply terrifying because of it. I thought he was a cool, dumb party frat guy, harmless dad bod who, cooks. Oops.
Same. Asked KJ, like, hey, buddy, how's your anxiety today? Making eye contact,
Yeah.
all of that shit. Like, if I date Craig and I get fucked over, I'm going to be looking at my friends like, oh my God, the scorpion crawled over my foot and stung me. If you get fucked over by West, that's going to fucking put you in therapy for a few years, maybe having to do some fucking EMDR, throw in some ketamine. Like, it's going to take the big modalities to untangle that shit because he was stealthy.
Yeah, it's really
I
gross.
mean, from what we were watching on TV, obviously, I'm sure people in his, like, Dara would have been like, knock, 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 hello, but she also dated him.
Well, and she said in the course of the season that West is a great guy unless you're trying to date him. I didn't realize how devious all of this is, and this is what KJ gets into next. He speaks up to say, I don't want to take much time, but I need to be honest. My dad was a perpetual liar and a womanizer, and it destroyed KJ's family. He says, my dad's a habitual liar. He lies to everyone, but then he puts on this persona and makes people feel good. And KJ sees a correlation with West's behavior, and he says, that's why I'm hurting. Because that kind of person is an explosive. It's just a matter of when and where they detonate and who gets caught in that mess. And KJ's already been caught in it once. And it's very alcoholic personality, like everyone loves them. They're charismatic and wonderful. They really, truly are. Again, that's why Al-Anon exists, because people love alcoholics because they are wonderful when they're not drinking. And then they get weird. But West feels like he doesn't need to be drinking. He's making really weird, harmful, conscious choices. How conscious he is of the camera. Again, it's like Kaiser Sozeing this whole season of like, oh, he knew the camera was there when he asked KJ. Oh, he's telling Meija, I can't claim you publicly because I'll ruin my future on this show. Everything is charted and plotted and has nothing to do with the human beings along the way. It's just like, what serves me best? Great, I'll move these pieces here or there to serve that end. It's disgusting.
And it's extra evil because Ciara specifically said to him and the other men she dates and tells her friends, this is the criteria for the men I date. They need to see me. My friends need to see me. My family needs to see me. The men I'm romantic with, they need to see me. And West looked her in the eye and convinced her, I see you.
And Amanda. Both of those fucks.
Both of them, believe me. So KJ brings up that dinner where they discussed race in regards to dating, and then in regards to dating while you're on a fucking TV show, a Bravo
dating
show.
White men on a TV show. Hello, West, listen up.
Exactly.
He's talking to you.
So we see a flashback of that dinner, and KJ tells West after they run the footage, I don't like seeing Ciara getting treated the way she's being treated. And West anemically, woefully insufficiently apologizes. And again, thinking that his same bullshit under the bunting is going to fly today. Well, today isn't the right time, but moving forward, if there are conversations to be had, I would have them with you. I literally laughed out loud, Margaret, when he said that. I laughed out loud. Bless KJ, though. He says it'll take time, but I'm open to a conversation at some point.
He said that, but KJ's face was all of our
Yeah.
faces, which was this like strained consternation and disgust.
Hurt.
Of like, Yeah, but also like broader than like hurt is like hurt. I don't know.
It was contempt and disgust and hurt
Yeah,
and profound disappointment.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's so gross what West
Mm-hmm.
has done. And like you said, the casual nature of his tone of like, well, I'll apologize again. Oh, that sounds sincere. Like, what the fuck? That's like if you step on someone's shoe and flat tire them more than once. Like,
Yeah.
just what do you mean you'll apologize again? Like, he's talking about racism, and you're just gonna casually shrug it off with, I apologize again. And when you're ready, let's talk about it. It's just so like, dude. Again, just the weirdest take he and Amanda chose for this reunion.
Being compared to the father that KJ shared about never seeing. He's a Pittsburgh Pirate, wasn't around, womanizer. If someone said, you know what, Ramona, a parent that I grew up with that caused me a great deal of harm and my family a great deal of harm, well, your behavior makes me compare you to them. I would vaporize into a pile of shame dust on that fucking soundstage. It would just be my dress and my shoes and my earrings and my mic pack. I would vaporize from horror. West, I don't even know if it's like penetrating.
No, I think that's either his survival mechanism or the choice he made for this reunion, but either one is disgusting and
Completely.
terrifying. It's so off. It just is so bad.
It's so bad. So Andy then thanks Ciara, KJ, and Mia for initiating that conversation. Thank you for having that conversation. It was edifying and necessary. And I'm like, really, really wasn't necessary because you also have, what is she, the head of Bravo? Is she the head of programming? Frances Berwick, I've talked about her before, saying that, oh, we're going to move our programming into less coastal casts and less coastal themes, meaning we're going to lean into MAGA shit, with our programming. That's what she said in the Ankler article. I'm happy to link it in the show notes. I understand what I signed up for when I watched Bravo. I understand that conversations like we've seen on Summer House are an exception, not a rule, unfortunately. But I would be completely dishonest if I didn't say that it hurts my soul a little bit to have Andy rightfully thank them for having that conversation, but also not see his role and his executives' roles as well. It doesn't feel good to me. It feels messy. It feels like it makes his words less genuine. Like, I want to believe him. I want to believe because he had ferocity in his tone. But then I see what's going on and I see who he platforms and I'm like, make it make sense. And again, this is what I, Ramona Ramirez Higgins, grapple with as a Bravo viewer. I'm not asking anybody else to do it. That's just my experience. It made me prickly to hear Andy make such a big deal out of the conversation when, at large, there is a bigger problem in the Bravoverse. So he asked Ciara what led her to speak on it at that moment. And she said the compounding years of being on that show and being one of a few. And it's a whole other part that I have to endure and just experience that my other castmates don't have to. I just hit the point where I was like, I am not going to sugarcoat things anymore. I guess I've hit my point too. Thank you, Ciara. Thank you for showing us what it looks like to hit your fucking point.
She speaks to the racial dynamics within their group. And this had come up in prior seasons. Like the Hamptons are a pretty whitewashed portion of coastline. She says very generously, Ciara says it would come up in any group of interracial, intercultural friendships or relationships. But she says clearly she's no longer entertaining friendships with people who are unwilling to address race and this political climate we live in head on with her. Like her daily life is informed by what's going on politically and socially. She can't escape it. It's not a talking point. It's her daily existence. This was my takeaway from what she said. So to be her friend means you have to care enough to go there with her. And I thought that was really really clear. And I like, again, Ciara's like, she always has been since her entrance onto the show, telling Luke, do not text me after 9 p.m. Ciara knows a boundary, sets a boundary, holds a boundary. And I find that so enviable. And also, I understand it's a necessity because she'll be stepped on otherwise for a number of reasons. Her race, her gender, her beauty, like all these things where people just decide to discount the human being and have any respect for that.
And I co-sign with her. I don't know if this is because I'm a woman of color. I don't know. I have no idea what it's like to not be. So I can't even speculate what I would think if I had two white parents, you know? But I also don't want to be friends if we're not talking about the political climate of this world, because there is a whole other layer that people of color and Black people experience, anyone in a marginalized group experiences. And if I'm expected to not talk about that, I'm not your person. I'm not it.
And I think it's since 2020, like a huge line has been drawn
Absolutely.
there of like, even in 12-step rooms now, they've added in a clause saying experience related to your race, gender, sexual orientation, or sexual identity are not considered outside issues, because
I'm
that
so glad to hear
shit
this.
informs people's addictive behaviors, you know? And I was so glad that was pretty swiftly written, voted on, and incorporated across
I'm
the
so glad to
board.
hear this. That's great. Yeah, absolutely. And good for her, dude. Again, this is the one of the networks where people, most of the time, they get downvoted on Reddit, at least, when people come in with this ridiculous take like, why can't we just watch TV for fun? And it's just my escape. Meh. And it's like, I don't know, bitch, because it's 2026. I'm grateful. I am so appreciative of the labor that Ciara is doing, taking her time and her mental faculties, risking her peace to talk, to share about this. They're so fucking lucky to listen to her explain it. I was pissed that Andy had to ask. I'm like, ask yourself, bitch. Go read a book. There's a million think pieces you can pick up. And I understand why he asked Ciara. I understand it. It's
yeah. And I thought I thought what she said was, yeah, I'm glad that we got to hear her say all of this.
I am too. But yes,
I understand it's a burden on her, but I also feel like in her saying this, she's saying, I'm no longer taking on that burden.
Yeah.
I'm not inviting people to have this conversation. I'm engaging only with people who are aware that this is a conversation and knows how to have it already.
Same.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It makes me feel good about watching this show when I hear her speak that honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And that real. Politically speaking, it is turmoil outside. It's fucking turmoil. It's turmoil in every city. It's fucking turmoil.
But for a lot of us, white people, that can be reduced to a headline or something you read about in your spare time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Ciara may be trying to impress here is that for some people, you walk out into the world and experience that headline.
Right.
So either, you know, in order to be in her circle, it sounds like you have to be a person who understands that that can be so and have a little bit of energy to give to, I don't know, awareness about that experience, if nothing else, for Christ's sake. It seems the bar seems so low.
It's just subterranean. Yeah.
But I just admire her so much.
She's one of the best things to happen to this network, and they should be kissing her ass implicitly in perpetuity. That's all I got to say. I would tell her to her face. I would tell Andy to his fucking face. And I would tell Frances Berwick to her fucking face if I ever met her in real life. I would. So Andy brings up how West told Ciara at that dinner, I see you more. And she said, I believed him then, but I don't believe him now. And she says it's very clear that both Amanda and West used buzzwords in that moment to satiate what Ciara needed to hear, but in reality, they did not see or hear her.
No, because
and they continue not to.
This entanglement would not have been a possibility if they had really seen or heard her. she made it clear what a third rail it is to step on to do this shit to her. And they did the most egregious example. I could, none of us could have conceived of it. It's so outrageous. And so I'm with her. They placated her with their own, I see you, I hear you bullshit. And West had even said, you know, I didn't understand before, but now I hear you. I really understand you better. So I'm going to go ahead and sleep with your white best friend right in front of your fucking face. How about that? Great job. Great job seeing and hearing West and Amanda. And then Amanda claims, basically, I meant it at the time. She's like, everything I said, I meant, but I got caught up in my own feelings. And this hurt me a lot. And Ciara, thank God, was all of us who just goes, it really hasn't. You guys have been out and you're functioning and you're fine. And, you know, I'm with her. Like, getting caught is what has hurt Amanda. Otherwise, she would have come forward right away, but she didn't. So it's not being in bed with West is not hurting her. It's being caught and being called a racist, kind of. That's, I think, what's hurting her. It's hurt her a lot.
The fact that the words "this hurt me a lot" came out of her mouth, and like she would keep going if Ciara hadn't cut her off.
Yes.
I was like, are you really going to? Are you Amanda Batula going to say this hurt me a lot right now?
She's insane. And that's what Ciara says. Ciara goes, and I think that's insane because you've literally been in the bed with me for the past 6 fucking years. And like, this is where we're at. It is insane. Amanda's insane. And to think that anyone would go like, oh, it probably has hurt Amanda is crazy. Like, yes, it's destabilized her, but these are all the result of her own choices. And she could take ownership and get better, or she can do what she's doing, which is in episode 1, say fuck you to Ciara, and here say it hurt me. It's like, oh, you're hopeless. I don't believe anyone's truly hopeless, but Amanda is not presenting like someone with a lot of integrity or humanity, for fuck's sake. Am I getting too global?
Hell no. Are you kidding?
Okay.
I'm shaking my head. My eyes are closed because I'm just like, preach, honestly. I'm disgusted. I can't remember the last time I've been disgusted by someone that wasn't holding public fucking office. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
Tom Sandoval had me like, you know.
Tom Sandoval said sorry.
I know. But then he also said, yeah, I fucked you with your T-shirt on. That was hot. Like, he's also terrible.
Trust me, no one, team nobody when it comes to all of these Bravo villains. But whatever. It's Amanda is just, there should have just been a few words on a list of like, hey, no matter what, do not say these words. Fuck you. It hurt me. Like, no matter what, don't. And then here we are. We're neck deep in both of them. Great job. So Andy asks a very pertinent question that we're all on bated breath to hear. What makes you think, Amanda, that this situation between you and West is different given his inability to commit to Ciara? And Amanda, again, I would be humiliated to look other adults in the eye and say the following. Well, I mean, that's conversations that West and I have had. We've talked about that privately and what this would look like and what this meant, which is the only reason I felt like I'm sitting here next to him right now. What? And Lindsay and Meija, I fucking love the Waldorf and Statler of Lindsay and Meija. I want Lindsay and Meija in a spinoff. I want them to like watch bullshit and comment on it. Or maybe I just want them to comment on Amanda, honestly, and Wes. Like, that would be great. But every opportunity that the camera panned to those two having a side conversation, I was like, I fucking love the both of them together. Those two are not going to suffer any fucking fools. And they're both sitting next to each other looking stunning and pissed. So Lindsay and Meija are like, please, we are on bated breath. We want to know how those conversations went. Meija said, what led you here? Led you from being one of Ciara's friends, good friends, summer after summer, confiding in each other. What led you from that to this? And Amanda said, well, the fact that it was based on friendship, some of these conversations are private, not everything that I felt comfortable sharing right now in front of everyone. I wanted to get to a point selfishly where I felt I understood what was going on because I was going to have to be honest with Ciara no matter what.
No, you weren't. You weren't ever going to tell her until there was a threat of a video being released. And to say that you had to go all the way with West to figure out what this was, you never had to touch that man. If you had really heard or seen Ciara in all these conversations we just discussed, it would not be an option to get that close to him. You wouldn't put yourself in a situation where you could get that close to him if you were starting to feel attracted. That is possible, to step away even from someone who you lust for. But she was unwilling to do that. So she just hung Ciara out to dry. And I loved this exchange. Amanda was like, I felt embarrassed to have to say I have feelings and kissed West and he's seeing someone else. I felt embarrassed having to say that to Ciara. And Mia goes, I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing. And then Ciara goes like, oh, she scoffs because Amanda's gross. And then Amanda like absolutely comes unraveled. And I think I'm going to need to take a break for a second. You're going to need to take a break? Like, what?
Andy's tone and demeanor and how he was relating to Amanda, it infuriated me. Like, because right before she started crying and like Karening off the stage, he was just looking at her with so much concern. And I'm like, you need to direct that to someone who deserves it because she is being willful right now.
I mean, I will say Andy's performance in that first installment of the reunion when he greeted West and Amanda, he was grossed out and having none of it. I do think
Fair.
Andy's job as a moderator is to keep Amanda on stage. And I think Kyle's right. If Amanda gets her feelings hurt, she will go away. And I think Andy is trying to get this to be a 12-hour or less day. And if you look at Amanda like, fuck you, she's going to do exactly what she did. And
but
she
see,
did
that
it anyway.
makes me mad too.
Same,
Everyone
I
else
agree.
has to sit there.
But
This
that's
is
what Lindsay said.
Triggers, yes.
And that's what Ciara later said. Ciara was like, Andy was like, I'll move past these Amanda questions. She was like, why? Get her out here. Her job is to come to the reunion and participate.
Why does she get a fucking pass? Because we're all sitting here.
She did.
We're all sitting here. No,
yeah. And look, she's Amanda. Like, if you're going to cast her, that's what you're dealing with. But I do think Lindsay and Ciara had to speak up to get her back on that stage. And all of the boys are such wimps. Ugh, so pathetic.
God.
But yeah, she's a real talk about embarrassing. Like her having to need to take a break. It's just like, please.
And like, not just like, I need to take a break. I need to take a break. Can I just not be on camera for like 5 minutes? Just really leaning into her inner Kyle Richards. And yes. I wanted to just like, bitch, just no.
But I loved what it presented, which is the opportunity for Wes to do something, and he didn't. And I loved that we got to see that in the raw. Everyone was sitting there silently, and then they're like, get up and go after your girl. And they said it with disgust, as they should, but like, yeah, obviously. Like, you just released a public statement saying you're trying to figure this out and you mean so much to each other. What are you doing? Go after her. And then Wes gets all riled up and he's like, oh, so we can both leave and you can bitch about that? That's what he said.
Perception. He's only concerned about his perception. I said this last week or a couple weeks ago or a couple times now, but like when he said that and then when Dara comes out and then reiterates it, like I felt validated and glad that I'm like, I'm not crazy. I'm not out here thinking that he's just concerned about his appearance and how he's going to be perceived. Like this is who he is.
He's saying it when he's saying like, oh, I'm going to leave. He's already gamed this out 5 moves ahead. It's like, no, your girlfriend is crying. So do what a human would do, but you're not a human. You're a disgusting performance artist and then even just to use the words like, oh, so you can bitch about that. Like you've bitched about me fucking Kyle's wife and like
mask off,
bitch about it. Oh my God, dude.
Exactly.
Yikes.
That's the language he's using. And the fact that he's not just getting like, what are they going to think if I don't? Rather than, oh no, this woman that I'm trying to give an illusion that I care about her. Like, this is why he's a liar. He doesn't know he doesn't know how to do the right thing in the moment.
He's just trying to figure out what looks best for him. And Kyle, fortunately, Kyle's humanity wins out. And he says, I would just go check on her to make sure she's okay. And Wes goes, okay. And he like is so grumpy and gets up and storms off the stage. And Kyle just says like, this is so fucking weird, which it is. And then Kyle, Lindsay, and Bailey said, we almost went after Amanda. And again, I love Mia for going, I didn't. I
Bye.
was like, I love it. She's the best.
Oh my God.
And then
Jode.
West begrudgingly, like behind closed doors, we hear the audio of him saying to Amanda, I came to see if you're good. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You got shamed into checking on her. You're not there of your own volition in any way, shape, or form. You didn't come to check on her and see if she's good. And then Amanda whines about how Ciara's comments just got really deep. It's really hard.
Oh God. The victimhood.
Followed by the director going, if you have to cry, cry on stage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just trying to build narratives for the camera. Like this whole thing, those two are, maybe they are meant for each other. They're so gross and weird and self-serving and image conscious and like enjoy the darkness of that life.
So gross, dude. It's so gross. Lindsay, I thought this was amazing. She suggests like, well, maybe we should break. And Andy doesn't even give it a second thought. He just is like, yeah, let's break. And I was like, Lindsay's the fucking boss. Lindsay is the boss.
I mean,
not even Andy is going to question her like, oh yeah, we should take a break.
but is this when Lindsay went off and was like, how many times have I been in the fucking hot seat? Like
she went off before,
later.
Like a couple beats before.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I did think
Yes.
it was pretty great that she was like, I've sat in the hot seat year after year after year after year with people pummeling me with hateful questions, and I did not leave this stage. Fuck that.
I wrote, go off, queen. And also the Lindsay in me sees the Lindsay in you, because I too would have been like I said at the beginning, does everyone not see what the fuck is happening? Why am I the only one that's seeing this shit? Like, I was so glad she was so incensed by that. I'm so glad.
Yeah. And Ciara said, she says just to the world, to the room at large, like, you fucked my ex, and then I scoff and you can't sit there. And I thought this was a real moment from Kyle where he agrees with Ciara and feels bad that his wife is struggling, And I was like, those are two hard things to hold, but I believe you feel both of them. And
I agree.
I appreciated him for taking the time to feel both of them instead of saying one of them was right or wrong. Like, that was nice. And then West returns and was like, she just took a beat. And it's like, is that what she did? Because I recall her storming off the stage like a brat and a baby and bitching behind the scenes. But okay.
Well, during the break.
Wait, real quick, before they go to
please.
break, this was my favorite part.
Oh my God, I know what you're going to say.
When Andy announces the break and he goes, Levi, thank you for joining us. We'll be right back. And Levi was just like, thanks. In her like gorgeous dress, her full glam. She got to get out there and say like, this summer I had fun. And Andy's like, it was nice to meet you. And she's like, yeah. Like, I think the writing's on the wall, which is so sad because I really like her. Maybe the Bailey connection will bring her back, but I don't know, dude.
It was so funny.
Thanks for joining us, Levi. She was like,
bye, Levi
right.
SARS. Nice to meet you.
Nobody could have predicted this is what we'd be into, but I guess bye.
So Kyle's going to Kyle, regardless if they're on the reunion stage or at the weekend sending it or during the week when he's, on his Zoom calls. Everyone's going to huddle up. He's going to get the team together. And I love that. I mean, he's Kyling. It's sure. So Carl is kneeling in front of his friend with his hands, his masculine hands on Kyle's well worked out thighs.
Oh my God, is this heated rivalry? What's going on right now?
I'm just painting, I'm comparing and contrasting. Like, it's possible. Carl season 1 to Carl season 10. There for his friend, like really there for him. And so Carl is next to Kyle, Ben, Mia, Ciara, and Kyle's like strategizing how they're going to go in after they come back from break. Like, all right, I am most focused on West's, and I quote, ease of lying. And at the same time he says ease of lying, this is when Ciara says, he's had a girlfriend the whole time. And Carl's like, it's unreal. So this little huddle is having a conversation about what a diabolical liar And at this point, none of us viewers know yet what is coming. And I mean, we know he's a diabolical liar. We just don't know the extent of it. They're all in shock over who they're. Isn't this where Kyle says, after the things I've learned about West, I don't know who he even is anymore.
I don't think anybody does. And that's what's so scary about deception and betrayal like this. It's so shocking. And West, when everyone gathered around Kyle, West was left alone on his couch. And then he just
was he there during that huddle?
No, he stood up and moped off. Because
Oh.
everyone got up off of his couch and rushed around Kyle, because in fairness, Kyle is really in pain. The reality of this is awful. He's sitting across looking at his wife and the man who was his friend, who she is currently fucking. Like, it's sickening. So yes, everyone leapt off of West's couch and went to go comfort Kyle. And then West sat there for a beat and then got up and moped off stage to the dressing room.
So Kyle tells the huddle that West was in a full-blown relationship, exclusive relationship since February of 2025. He says he has receipts. He reached out to Meija Moreno, is the woman that West was in a relationship with from February 2025 until
the statement.
Yeah, until the statement. He said he reached out to Meija because his curiosity got the best of him, and they talked for a week. And everything he learned from talking to Meija for that week made him question who West is. And he asked Meija, is it okay if I loop you and Ciara in together? And Kyle speculates that looking back on the season, he wonders, was West plotting this whole time to have this opportunity to swoop in and be the hero and rescue Amanda from big bad Kyle and look great as the season ends and his image would get a glow up? And both Ciara and Carl add that Amanda being married would technically work in West's advantage because no one would ever suspect anything because she's technically not available. So he would just look like a good guy helping out a friend.
Well, and also I thought they were saying that Amanda's perfect for him because he doesn't have to commit to her because she's still married. And getting a divorce takes a while. So what a great relationship he's locked himself into here.
And a great relationship that's going to help him look like a certain way.
Well, I think it would have if he had stayed friends and the romantic part had not emerged.
Yeah. So the cast comes back from break, shy of Amanda. She still needs more time. You guys, everyone, Amanda still needs more time. She still needs more time.
Touch-ups, by the way.
Yeah.
They get footage of her saying are you coming? And she's like, I just need touch-ups. It's like, oh, you ass.
God.
But I did love, again, as they're reconvening and heading to the stage, Mia says to Ciara, you're doing so great. I'm so proud of you. Bitch, let's get massages tomorrow.
So beautiful. I love it.
Female friendship can also be that. It doesn't have to be Amanda.
And it can also be your friend and castmate asking you how your tits look and Mia saying they look fucking fabulous. Not even a beat, not like, are you crazy? Why are you asking me? Just fucking fabulous. And Lindsay's all as if I needed to ask. She's like, great. I love them.
There was that little moment too where Jesse, KJ, and Ben are talking, and Jesse says, I wish this was all fake. People often assume it is. And KJ hugs them and he goes, it's okay. We lost one, but we're still strong. And Jesse just goes, I hope so. Jesse, in my opinion, is in real grief in this whole reunion. And Andy attributes it to support of his singing career and shit. But I think he's actually just grieving the loss of, it's over. It is for all of us. The loss of West as a trustworthy friend or a friend at all. And the loss of the summer house experience. West and Amanda killed it with this. And I think that has cut Jesse real deep. So that broke my heart.
God. So the cast comes back and we are joined by Dara, who is stunning. And Andy welcomes her and commends her and KJ's relationship, asks for her take on West and Amanda since she dated West and she has a unique perspective. And she looks at West and says this. I love that. I love that she leaned out and she made eye contact with the person that she was going to talk to. She wasn't looking at the cast. gives one of the most accurate reads I've ever seen on reality TV on this network or any network. I'm going to be honest, West. I don't see you suddenly waking up one day and being like, this is going to be the relationship that you stand up and man up for. You like people to think of you as a good guy, but you treat the women that give themselves to you like they're expendable. And Andy asks for West's response, and he actually says, I understand that, and I agree.
Remorseless, learned nothing.
No
Just
tone,
flat.
no, completely. I've never seen anything.
I mean, at least he knows. Like, but I also think that was his play. Is like, as he was giving Amanda a playbook at the end of this episode, I think his playbook was like, just agree and apologize, whether you believe it, admit it, like, or not. Just, it's the path of least resistance.
God.
This is where Andy starts to skip over some Amanda questions, but Ciara kind of calls him out and she's like, where is she? This is a very long break. You come to the reunion, but you don't participate in the reunion. And Kyle says he wants Amanda to hear what Dara just said. And Dara, I love her, goes, don't worry, I can repeat it. And while we wait on Amanda to return, we go into the lover boy segment, which was, whatever. We start with Ben and Sabrina, and Ben and Sabrina are better than ever. She brought him to Australia with him. Sabrina made efforts to hug Ben's dad every day, twice a day, to model affection, I guess. And then for the first time since Ben was 19, Ben and his dad hugged. And this was very sweet and very emotional. But I did notice, and I shared the sentiment, Bailey's back was to Ben the whole time he was telling this story. And I think that's fair. Because again, both things are true. I'm sorry you suffered childhood trauma. I'm glad it's healing. And you defended treating that young girl like crap. And so great. Ben has now, attributed this growth to Sabrina, and that's lovely. And Ben still gives me the creeps. So there you go.
Yeah.
And I love KJ for just being so honest, saying he's in no place to judge how fast Ben and Sabrina connected because he's gone just as fast with Dara. And finally, stupid Amanda clomps back onto the stage.
She shows back up to her job. She shows back up to work for her job.
And Andy asked Dara if she would like to reiterate anything. And then Dara proceeds to read West for absolute filth. And at least in my version of it, they play this, they have Dara make this statement and then go into a commercial break. And then coming back from commercial break, the entire thing is repeated again. And I was standing on my feet applauding both times. She says, the biggest pattern in his life is
and she's saying this directly to Amanda now.
Yeah. So Andy says,
amazing.
Dara was reflecting on some patterns in West's dating behavior. And she says, Dara says to Amanda, the biggest pattern in his life is it is the West show, and it will always be the West show. And the biggest concern of his is consistently being well liked and well received. And he doesn't prioritize treating the women he's linked to romantically with the same respect as he does anybody else in his life. And I just foresee him for a very long time wanting someone who will mold and fold and fit into his life without excuse or complaint. Unfortunately, it's up to you to decide what's worth breaking, sacrificing, and losing for that kind of person. And Amanda just has her like big round eyes and like kind of sad, stunned face on. And Andy is right to point out it would be ironic if you went from the Kyle show to the West show, given that you've been finding your voice over the past couple seasons.
I was like, finding your voice? Okay. I mean, she
that was her
bitched more.
storyline.
I know.
But that was her whole storyline.
And
again,
bought it. God damn it.
I was just going to say we were all on board until March 31st. So all of this is insane. And this is when Kyle goes, the Kyle show wasn't that bad, was it? And Andy whips his head over and he's like, it has its moments. Like, it did, honey. Anyways.
We really don't hear Amanda say anything about what Dara just said. Again, if I was Amanda, or if I was on that stage and Dara said that to me about the person that I was dating, again, I would be vaporized from shame and self-hatred.
I think she is. I think she knows she's made a horrible, irretractable mistake.
I feel like she thinks I just don't see that. I don't see that.
I don't see any real belief in her defenses or justification. I think she dug herself a hole. She's lost all of her friends. So now I think she thinks the best thing to do is to publicly try to make this okay. And it's never going to be okay. But I think she knows the way they interact at the end of the episode. You know, I don't feel bad for her, but I don't think she thinks this is going to turn out well or go the distance or any such thing.
I just can't wait to see what happens because I just don't. I thank you, God, that I don't know. Thank you, God, that I will never know what it's like to be Amanda Batula. I mean, I guess if I quit therapy and doing all the other shit I do, there's a big old chance, but I don't think I could stomach it. I don't think it's in my constitution to just like double and triple and quadruple down when I have just proof coming at me from all angles. I don't know. Who cares? We're not here to talk about me. Anyway, so then Andy pivots back to Jesse. We started Jesse package. You know, Jesse wanted to be a bed bug, and a viewer asked him why in his confessional did you talk about having feelings for Ciara, but when confronted by Ciara, you froze and hid your feelings. How did you really feel about her? And he does say, I did catch feelings and misread the situation. I never said my feelings for her were a joke, but I did go about it in my typical joking fashion, and I regret it. And we learned that the song he sang in his confessional about the best friend was not about Ciara. And Tatiana from East LA asks, well, was that song about Wes and Amanda? And he said, no, I wrote it a long time ago. And Ciara's all, well, you can play it at Amanda and Wes' wedding. And Amanda, again, this is why I don't believe that she has any desire or really knows what's going on, because this is what activates her. Okay. So she gets this like snarky look on her face, like, okay, like rolling her eyes like a petulant teen.
Like she didn't expect to take shots. Like it was so crazy to me. But in this whole thing with Jesse, like he was so disassociated. Like he was saying words, but he's just grieving. His voice is cracking and wavering throughout. He doesn't give a shit. I think he did write the song about Ciara, but that was a Ciara that existed in a different universe. That universe is dead because of what West and Amanda have done. And he just broke my heart. Like, and Andy was so like, I was surprised how unclear Andy was on like there was something much bigger going on for Jesse here, because he next asked about his love life, and Jesse says he's single but looking for something more committed and serious, and Andy tries to make light of that, and sweet Carl is like, no, I believe him, like he's really committed to his singing career, and I believe Jesse too. I don't know that he'll nail it on the first try. And I also think this episode, the Amanda West chapter in everyone's lives, that'll shake some reality into you of like how much harm you can cause by fucking around with people's feelings. And I think Jesse's really in touch with that. But he reports he's going on tour, and on the verge of tears, he says, it's been a lot of work and I'm really proud. But I think that's like, I bet he was so excited about this before, and now the whole fucking thing is tainted. Now people will come and all they're going to ask about is West and Ciara and West and Amanda. And did you know? And what are they doing? And do you think they'll make it together? Instead of, it's just nothing of what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be about him kind of realizing a dream. And now it has this wretched odor of those two fuckers all over it.
And I really loved what Kyle made a point of saying. We do put ourselves out here on this show, and we hear from people what they think and their opinions. So not only is Jesse putting himself out there for his relationship and friendships to be kind of analyzed, and his behavior and like what he does and how he treats all of the stuff that he does is analyzed. And then on top of that, his passion, the thing that he's devoted his whole life to, which is singing. He went to college for it. We saw pictures from like, I don't know, high school of, singing is his passion. It's his heart's desire. And Kyle's like, so this dude's putting himself out there and then putting his art out there. And he's 99% of the world doesn't fucking do that. So like, let's give this
And
guy.
when Kyle said, he's putting himself out there more than 90% of us, and the camera cut to Amanda, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember I read Jeff Tweedy's memoir, and I wish I knew the quote verbatim, but I will cherish this book forever for this one line. He's like, every time I wrote a song and put it out there, it was like I was giving a piece of myself, like I was birthing a child. And it's the most vulnerable feeling to create something and put it out there. And I still just like say it. I will never forget where I was when I read that line. I will never forget how much it impacted me. And that was the first thing I thought of when Kyle said that. Even this podcast, sometimes when I put it out and I'm saying something that I feel really impassioned about, I'm like, oh God, should I reel it in? Like the voices come in that say, Ramona, you're too much, or just shut up. Can you just relax? It's like all of those voices that aren't mine, FYI, I just took them over. Someone else programmed me and then I reinforced the code. You get what I'm saying. My point is that like it is when you are a creative person and you make yourself vulnerable by sharing something, it is such a mind fuck. It can be such, you know this. It is really
I know
scary.
deeply. But I thought, Kyle is speaking from experience too, because he wanted to be a DJ and we all made fun of him. And that man is a fucking DJ. He can't stop working. And people say he's quite good. So great.
So Jesse cries and he says he's really grateful and excited he's able to sing, and his castmates and friends' support means a lot to him. Jesse really, he's 7 stages of grief up there.
Well, and I also think this is deep for him. He says he attributes the tears to gratitude for the support from his castmates and gratitude for the opportunity to do this. And again, in Jesse's case, I do think that means the fact that I'm alive to do this. He had a really serious, severe cancer battle. It should be so only wonderful to him. And fuck Amanda and West for deigning that as well. Again, all these people, most liars I know think that their lies are harmless because they're the ones telling them and they're the only ones who know. They create so much damage and it has ripple effects for miles and months beyond the initial lie.
Oh, yeah. So then we have the Carl and Lindsay package where we talk about their igloo conversation. And Andy asks Carl, was it fun being in the mix this season? And Carl says he had a really good time and felt comfortable in his own skin. And it felt really good to be him. And you could see it. That is what's possible. That's what's possible, West.
And it takes
Jesse,
years.
And
right.
it takes years, yes.
And I have to remind myself of that because I admire and idolize Carl, but I have to remind myself he had a couple years of feeling so uncomfy in his skin and going on that date with the girl who brought him a lemon and trying to like her and trying to like himself. And it's all weird until it's not.
So
and I'm
weird.
So glad to see it coalescing. And this just, and it was just the right time for him and Lindsay to make up. It shouldn't have happened a minute before, and he so kindly thanks Lindsay for showing up at Soft Bar and just ever effusive with needing nothing in return from her. He says, I care about you and I always will. Her showing up just shows who Lindsay is and her character. So thank you. And again, I was just so moved by how he continues to take accountability for his behavior and shower honest praise upon her and not need anything back from her because she gave nothing back. Andy says, are you proud of him? And she can't just say yes. She does this roundabout Lindsay thing within her own limitations. That's as lovely as you're going to get from Lindsay. But, she says, you seem more confident, and that's a beautiful thing to see. I think that you are finally the person that you were supposed to be and always wanted to be. So I'm proud of you for that. And it's like, dude, this is where, she triggers in me all the things I want from my alcoholic. Just say yes. Just say yes, you love me. Just say yes, you're proud of me. Why all this roundabout bullshit just so you don't say yes? It's so mean and harmful. But I really saw Carl just be like, that's what Lindsay has to offer. And I received that. Thank you. He didn't need anything more. Because to me, that seems like deliberate omissions to be mean, But to Carl, he was just like, that's great. Thank you, And I learned a lot from watching him receive that without needing to nitpick or micromanage her to say exactly what he deserves to hear.
His ego
Gone.
completely
Shattered.
like
Love it.
as gone as it can be on like a regular human walking the earth kind of a day. It is so inspiring, and it's all I want. It's all I want from, especially once I had a taste of it when I started working with psychedelic medicine and therapy together. Now I know, because what those medicines do is they poison your ego. They their job is to eliminate it if you're willing to let them. And it is not easy. It's scary. Now, when I am defended, I know that if I know that it's because I'm in my ego and my ego wants to protect me from something. And it doesn't always look pretty when it wants to protect me. Let me just say, it rarely looks pretty if I'm being rigorously honest when my ego wants to protect me. And I want what Carl has. Carl has fucking freedom, dude. Carl is free. And I am so inspired by it. And I endeavor for freedom. And freedom for me is like ego dissolution is the way. It's possible. And it feels so good. Just be like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't know what that person's going to think, but this is what I'm honest about. This is where I'm at.
Yeah. Speaking of Carl's a mess. Andy asks Amanda, how did you feel about Carl and Lindsay monetizing your situation? And Amanda is insane.
Caucasity.
So in case anyone is unclear, Kyle did a man on the street interview where he said this situation has affected the whole friend group. Carl's a mess. And that became a little buzzword, and they turned it into T-shirts and sweatshirts and merch, which the proceeds went to Carl's, the addiction recovery center or community outreach program he's involved with. So it wound up being an entirely altruistic endeavor. But Amanda says, I would never have done that. And it did hurt a little bit. And Ciara, again, just goes, please, please, please. And I love Lindsay. She's like, I can't help what Kyle does on the streets. He's also on his tippies kissing a housewife.
Oh, my God. So rude.
And I think they did a little insert shot of him in a Megan King Edmonds where it does look like Kyle is standing on his tiptoes to kiss her.
And I would like to remind everybody, if I may please the court, if I may approach the bench, insert legal ease here. In late March, Amanda had an ad that she did for Buffalo Wild Wings, where the whole thing is based on her being like a newly single person and being able to order 6 things off the Buffalo Wild Wings menu so that like when she goes on a date, everyone can pick what they're going to eat. Some bullshit like that. So the caucasity plus the hypocrisy carry the fuck
P.S.,
all the way off.
It wasn't
Petula.
just Buffalo Wild Wings. It was a Tropicana ad where she's like, surprised to see me awake in the morning. Haha, that was at Kyle's expense. It was also that whole Marie Claire spread, which was like, I'm a single woman who's finally been released from a torturous, toxic relationship. She used every inch of that failed relationship. She stomped all over Kyle, and she had us in the palm of her hands for a spell. So for her to come back with this is like every last one of you would have monetized this shit. And anyone who denies that is insane and wrong and stupid. That's what you do these days. Sorry about it. Like
Totally.
if you don't
why
want,
they do it.
Yes, and if you
This is
don't
why
want
they
your
do Bravo.
if you don't want your bad behavior monetized, like be better. Be a better person.
And Ciara
Idiot.
says, okay, so you would never monetize something, but you would fuck your friend's ex? Okay. And it's true. You have to go all in or not. You don't get to be selective about your bullshit.
Amanda does. Because
Oh,
she's
don't even get me
Amanda.
started. She's my least favorite type. My least favorite type. So the ad did not bother Ciara or Kyle. In fact, Kyle thought it was fucking epic. I thought it was epic. I remember thinking, look at the healing happening here. Look at the
It's
healing
great,
happening.
and also it was what it was.
Right.
Like everybody, it
Also, get
wasn't
your
epic.
money.
And calm
Right.
down, Amanda. Like it aired for 20 seconds while it was relevant. Like everybody, calm down. I did love Lindsay again, just yelling at Amanda, going like, "I've been here for 10 years. I can do whatever the fuck I want." And Amanda goes, "I've been here just as long." And Lindsay goes, "Okay, well, I'm not fucking my friend's ex." And it shut everyone up. And I was like, yes. Normally I have so much trouble with Lindsay, but when she is this direct, I'm like, yes, all the way, yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. So passive aggressive, that Amanda Batula. Well, I've been here for 10 years too. Again, these are the things that she's
Okay, well, I'm not
choosing
fucking my friend's ex, so.
to open her mouth about and like use expressions on her face, to roll her eyes at Ciara, to roll her eyes at Lindsay. This is what she rolls her eyes at.
She's nuts.
May I never know. May I never know. May I never know.
I did think this was really sweet. Again, I just can't. I'm so impressed with Carl, who said he loved having Lindsay at his apartment on his couch. And he says they have an undeniable friendship chemistry. And it was kind of great to be back in that bond again. And Lindsay, again, God, she triggers all of my, like, what is it called? The most dangerous kind of love is like intermittent positive reinforcement. So, anyways, Carl says all this stuff about we have an undeniable friendship chemistry. It was so wonderful to be with her and back on our couch sharing that experience again. And Lindsay goes, "I've unblocked Carl, but I don't follow him." And I was like, Lindsay, can you just fucking, but no, that's who she is. That is who she is. And I am not an acceptance. And that's why it bothers me.
I
want
hope
her
she
to be
gets there.
nicer because Carl deserves someone nicer.
I want Lindsay. I want that for Carl, but what that's going to mean is that Lindsay is not defended. And if Lindsay isn't defended, that means she doesn't live in fear or needing to like protect herself, because that's where she's coming from. Underneath, like that's what I'm learning. It's like, I'm not just a bitch in my worst moments. I'm a bitch because I'm terrified of something. What is it that you're terrified of, Ramona? And that's what I'm looking at. Like, that's where my work is right now. Like, why do I react the way I do to things when I react on like a level 10 or a 5 or whatever, And so it's like, yes, I absolutely want the byproduct of her being less defended, of her to her being nice to Carl, But really what's beneath that is that I just want her to fucking be free, dude. And I know that she's got a lot of shit that she feels like she needs to defend herself from. I get it. The abandoned child in me sees the abandoned child in you, Lindsay. But I'm telling you, girl, you don't have to be so tough all the time. It feels really powerful and strong to actually not feel like you need to be defended.
And part of it just is her personality
For
and
sure.
her TV persona. Like, I don't know what she's really like behind closed doors, but like, I'm just forever amazed at how she gives Carl just enough to reel him in, and then she releases, instead of like, it's just painful.
It's sad. It makes me sad for her.
Then we're into Carl and Kyle, and Kyle says that watching this back, he was pained seeing Carl upset by Kyle not supporting Carl in the way that Carl had hoped. And Kyle again reiterates he was in the deepest hole personally and professionally he'd ever been in. And again, this is where Carl is so accepting of who people are and where they are, and he doesn't demand more of them than they're capable of giving. He just says he understands more now why, Kyle didn't have much to give friendship-wise or financially, and he just lets it go. And it's so beautiful. And again, so Jesse, who made fun of Carl for writing the bitchy letter, that he never sent to Kyle about how much it hurt him that he didn't invest. That's what doing such a thing avails you, is this kind of like, it's fine. There are bigger things, and I love you, and I know you love me, and it's a blip. Let's keep it moving.
I want
And
what that
yeah,
man has. I
I
want the
mean,
freedom that Carl Radke has. I'm telling you.
truly.
I'm telling you. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it even to have flickers of that freedom. And I can look you in the eye and say, I live more where Carl Radke lives than I ever have before. But it's been real fucking uncomfortable to get there. But it's not impossible. It just takes some willingness and some time and some effort
And support. It
and
can't, you can't,
support.
I can't get well alone.
100%. No way. No way. No way. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the invitation is clear there for Kyle. Like, he has the softest place to land with his spiritual brother, Carl Radke, if he so pleases, if he so wishes. It's available to him, that support. And it sounds like he's got the support of his castmates up there, too. So
Definitely.
we'll see. We'll see.
And then we go to Amanda. And at this point, I just like, I can't even stand her voice anymore. But she's saying that she hated to see the fight. And then she victimizes herself. She's familiar with Kyle fighting like that, hitting where it hurts. When Kyle gets mad, he sees red. He doesn't see who he's yelling at. He just yells. And again, that's true. And 2 months ago, I would have been deeply sympathetic to this telling, but I just don't give a shit. And then Wes addresses moving his chair to back Amanda after Kyle had said fuck you to her. And Wes claims that Kyle's anger, this was so misogynistic. He's like,
It's
Kyle's
terrible.
anger was meant to be directed at Ciara and Lindsay rather than Amanda. And I was like, West, like, you should be separating Kyle's anger from everyone, male, female, any one of them.
And he thought he was really doing something when he said that, too.
And
I think.
he thought he was really doing something when he said, I wanted Amanda to know I had her back, when, like, I thought Kyle was being a dickhead.
You wanted the viewers to think that you were such a good, solid guy and a supportive guy that was there for his friend. That's what you wanted, West.
But remember how weird that moment
It was the weird herd round the Bravo verse. It was
So
a
it didn't-
jaw-dropping moment.
Yeah. And then Amanda, her misogyny is showing when she goes, it was nice to finally have a guy stand up to Kyle. I mean, the girls in the house have done it, and I've tried to do it. It just felt different to have a guy trying to talk man to man with him. I was like, am I in an episode of Mad Men all of a sudden? Like, what dialogue is this? And I loved Kyle for going like, this was a guy who's never had a relationship in his adult life. And West, this is where, you know, broken clock, he says that he can still weigh in on the fact that saying fuck you to your wife is objectively bad. And I was like, that is fair.
It is fair, and
nobody.
also it was super fucking convenient for him to be able to say that.
Of course.
If he had just shown me that he took that in for a minute, and if he had said, you know what, I can see how you could say that. Absolutely, I could see how you could think or say that. Totally. I own that. But it hurt my heart to see her getting attacked. Whatever. But instead, it was just like Kyle said it and he just volleyed right back. He didn't, there was no curiosity. It was just like, well, because on paper he knows. And this is what I fucking hate about people like Amanda and West and Kyle Richards. I always bring her up, even though we're nowhere near that franchise. On paper, what they're saying sounds good and it's in the rule book. So like, technically West is doing what you should be doing by saying this, but he's not saying it in a clean way. Well, but you said fuck you to your wife. It's like, no. You don't really mean that. It's convenient for you to say that right now.
Well, and he carries that on in this next segment where we get into the Cartier watch / Wolf of Wall Street confessional, where Wes says, you know, he used the metaphor that in the Wolf of Wall Street, the guy starts buying his wife. He buys his wife a yacht once he starts fucking a bunch of hookers. So anyone who buys a gift is covering up a lot of other bad shit. And Wes claims this metaphor was overly dramatic, and he takes it back, which is, I guess, a thing you can do. And he said it had more to do with having heard Kyle call Amanda a dumb fucking bitch the day after he gave her the watch. And again, like you're saying, on paper, true. And at the time, I absolutely wholeheartedly agreed. And also still fuck Kyle for saying that. That's disgusting. And it is abusive, even though he tries to wiggle away from that term later. That is verbal abuse, lest anyone is listening and they're confused and someone calls them a dumb fucking bitch tonight. That's verbal abuse, for the record. And, but nobody's going to let Wes get away with it because Lindsay goes, that was fucked up, Wes. And Carl goes, yeah, it was hardcore. And then I have to hate Kyle because then he victimizes himself. He was like, that was like the one highlight of my summer. And you kind of took that from me. I enjoyed giving that gift to her, even if our marriage didn't work out. I was like, Kyle, again, you did call her a dumb fucking bitch the day. Like, don't just, sir, everybody get back. Can we drop into reality for a minute? Like, you don't have to be the hero so that you're not the asshole. Am I making sense?
I mean, yes. Like, you know how I always talk about the fact that like someone is like the clothes are wearing them, they're not wearing the clothes. It did not seem authentic at all when Kyle said that. It felt like maybe somebody said that to him and he was like, oh yeah, you know what? That kind of fucking works. I'm going to say that. It did not feel like Kyle. Okay, but then again, we also know he has a history of being terrible at giving gifts. But I don't know. I did not buy it. Something was fishy about it. It didn't seem
to me. It sounded like he'd
authentic.
said it. He'd said it once or twice before in friendly company, and it was well received. Like, yeah, that was the best of your summer. Blah blah blah. He did take that from you. So he tried it out here, and it was like flat.
Totally. I was all, bro. No.
No, that needed to be workshopped more or cut from your script entirely.
Completely.
And then Kyle's conspiracy theories, like, I get it. But at this point, it's like, why even bring this up to liars? It's a pointless pursuit. Kyle says, were you trying to make me look extra bad because you'd already started hooking up with Amanda? And then West yells at him, don't ask me if I'm making you look extra bad when you called your wife a dumb fucking bitch.
Again, convenient.
But also, like, that's what you get, Kyle. If you try to victimize yourself, then you get an answer like this, which puts you back in your place and gives West a convenient opportunity to use a truth. It is gross. And then Kyle says he's felt criticized for his behavior toward Amanda, but he's accepting of that criticism. But then he goes into this and he goes, you guys make it sound like I'm this abusive husband. I said, fuck you under my breath. Not true. After I felt like I got the FU. And Andy, thank God, steps in and goes, you can't defend it, you know? And then Kyle corrects himself and says he's embarrassed by his behavior, but then immediately blames Amanda. And it's like, anytime we fight at home, it's not a one-way street. And
I felt like
she tries
that
to
was
victimize herself by saying, a lot of times it was. It's like, you guys are all, I hate you all.
I do feel like he was saying that, though, for self-preservation.
Sure.
And I validated that choice for him because I went through that same process that you just went through, Margie. I was like, oh, Kyle, you didn't. But I was like, but in this case, had none of this come out, we would have been like, fuck yeah, it's the summer of Amanda Batula. Woohoo, Kyle sucks. Fuck you, Kyle. But instead, it's like we saw the face and the biting of the finger and the diabolical looks around the table and like the glee that she had when Lindsay was laying into. And
this
so,
is where it's.
But she was mentally fucking with his head too.
I agree. But it doesn't excuse. This is why we all have to stay on our own side of the street.
Yeah.
If Kyle is comfortable with being a guy who finds reasons to say fuck you and defend it, that's fine. That is never a person I want to be around. I don't want people I love to date him. I don't want my niece involved with him. I don't want my nephews involved with a woman who's like, well, I had to say fuck you because you are a dumb fucking bitch because of what you did. That's crazy. Amanda has shit to work on. Kyle has shit to work on. It's up to them whether they work on it. They are explosive and toxic together. Nobody, thank God, is confused about that anymore, including the two of them. But like, if I saw someone say that to, the people I know who are in their 20s and 30s, I'm not okay with it no matter what. It's not fucking okay. It's not okay what Amanda did. She did knowingly provoke it, but someone has to do better or we just forgive this and this cycle just perpetuates.
I really liked that when you said someone has to give in. Someone has to, shit.
I
Never mind.
forgot to, and
And you just said it.
Great.
But yeah. Oh, well.
Anyways.
So Andy asked Kyle, what felt different to you about the start of this season versus the previous fucking 9? And Kyle says, the night 1 dinner hit me where it hurts. And
the DJ nutsack.
And I remember talking about this when we first started talking about this season, before any of the news about Amanda and Wes came out. I remember telling you, Kyle is annoying me because he's coming in with this plan and this expectation. Like, we've had a hard time. Now we're here. It's going to be great. Like, he had this full idea in his head about how the summer was going to go. And not one place in that plan was his wife. It was Kyle's plan. We're going to work on our marriage this summer. This summer's going to be fun. We're going to let loose and it's going to be exactly what we need. And it's like he was only focused on that. And so the first night it deviates. Granted, what Amanda said that night was bullshit and it's terrible and team nobody and they shouldn't be married. This is not up for debate. My point is that, again, this is like more of Kyle's wanting to control and manipulate the outcome of the summer. But it's not, you don't just make a mental plan and then it happens. There's other things involved. And they had 10 years of resentments packed up.
Not to mention he'd been gone for the 7 months leading up to the summer. He's not in any way. Again, this is, like I said, the point of the episode where I was like, please, everyone who is a villain, stop trying to victimize yourselves. Please stop it. Amanda, Kyle, Wes, give it a rest.
So where Kyle says the tone was set for the rest of the summer on that first night because she said that Kyle wants to be a DJ to spite me for my swimsuit line, Amanda's like, oh, yeah? Well, the tone you set for my summer was when you spent the night at a fan's house. And then they have the debate about whether or not it was a fan's house. Or what we learn is that Kyle, shout out to Watch What Crappens. Fucking love that for them. Love Ben and Ronnie forever in perpetuity. Kyle went out after a Watch What Crappens show to someone's house after Watch What Crappens show. That's where he was. So, I mean, I don't know. You and I have been to 3 or 4 Watch What Crappens shows live together. And we just know that there's often a drunk group of people that are they're going to take it to the after party afterwards, anyway, my point is that who gives a shit? And also, your plan was never going to work if Amanda wasn't on board with it.
I mean,
that the summer was going to be healing and magical for your marriage,
Yeah. No, again, but again, it's like that. It's not news that Kyle was out on a bender partying too. That's been going on for years too. The whole thing's crazy. And that is why everyone points out the hypocrisy of Amanda suddenly being a party girl with West after condemning Kyle for this kind of partying for the entirety of their marriage and many of the years before it. And Amanda, she clarifies, well, I just hate going out with Kyle, which causes Kyle to break out into tears, which is so sad and also made me laugh a little bit because I was like, oh my God, that's the thing that hurts him the most is that she doesn't want to party with him. And then Kyle yells at Wes, give me a break. This kid parties twice as hard as I do. And then he says to Wes, you are the most immature, fraudulent, phony I've ever met. So shut the fuck up.
And poor Jesse is crying.
Because it's awful. Because it's
awful.
It's also true what Kyle's saying. West is all of those things now. And he will have to spend a lifetime trying to correct that representation if he so chooses, and I doubt he will.
What Wes does not understand is that he thinks he'll just tell Jesse, yeah, well, we didn't want to fuck things up. I didn't want to hurt Ciara's feelings. We just couldn't help ourselves, He thinks that's it. Whereas Jesse is over here having to ask himself, was it all a lie? Was the support for when I thought I might have cancer again, was that a lie? Was everything he told me a lie? He is unfucking moored. And Wes is just
forever.
whatever. And will be forever.
That's the thing. It's not just one lie.
He fucked
and then
with trust, dude. He fucked
that's
with
what a lie does.
trust.
And that's what liars don't understand is they think I lied about one thing. And I'm like, no, you are now a liar. And so everything you say, I have to scrutinize with every inch of my being. I can never relax in your company again unless so much time passes and you have devoted yourself to telling the truth no matter what. And very few people are willing to do that. And Kyle, this broke my heart because, again, Kyle is really having all of his feelings. And he says to West and Amanda that he has alternating feelings of concern and betrayal for them both. And that is so honest and pretty articulate because I think I would feel the same. Like those are two people he loved with reason just a month or so ago. And now he's sitting across from them, worried about Amanda's mental health, and
she's not worried about it. Why should he be? I'm sorry. I'm a human. I'm a dick and I'm angry.
I mean, he lived with it for all those years and he saw her get better. And I'm sure that was hopeful. And it's just like, I don't know.
So someone brings up the internet rumors. Do you remember who brings up the internet rumors?
Kyle did.
Kyle did.
He said he's to put the internet rumors to rest that they had long separated before summer and they were just holding their marriage together.
Oh,
for
yes.
the
people were
purposes of
saying
filming.
yes.
He said that's absolutely not true. That the split actually happened the very day they announced their separation with that social media statement.
Interesting that Amanda had to have the statement out so quickly, and it made me think of something you told me, dear friend. So Amanda wants the statement to come out that day. She does not want people thinking before the show premieres that, oh, well, we're together just for the show. Bitch, you wanted to fuck Wes without guilt. And even before you announced it to us and Ciara and Kyle and whoever, you wanted that little bit of peace of mind in your mind. So it's like, let's get this statement out. You told me once, and I will never forget it. If it's important, it's not urgent. And if it's urgent, it's not important. And Amanda had to get that statement out that day. And they hadn't even told their fucking parents yet, dude. Like, insane that she thinks I'm going to buy that. I mean, the scene we saw with Kyle and his mom fucking breaking down on Zoom, dude. Like, y'all don't want to tune. Like, I hear, I read these comments. Why does everyone have to take it so seriously? Why can't we just watch this? Why do we have to talk about politics? Why do we have to talk about race? You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see Kyle Cook's mother crying about a statement that her son is going to release, that her son's marriage is over. I don't want to watch that. That made me so sad, dude. That was heartbreaking to watch.
It was, but see, I appreciate that shit because divorce is such a word that gets tossed out like it's nothing. They're divorced, they're getting divorced, they're divorcing, they might divorce. That's what divorce is. Again, divorce affects every single person who loves the people who are listed on the legal document. Mm-hmm. So that's what divorce is. That divorce is a crying mom. It's confused and sad and
totally
disoriented children. It's aunts and uncles. It's everyone. So that's why I love reality TV.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. It felt like, God, even Amanda's mother-in-law is getting dragged into this bullshit. She's getting tainted with your sludge. You
that's
selfish
what a lie
bitch.
Does, man. Yeah.
That's
West
what I
too.
didn't want to see. I don't want to see her crying in earnestness when Amanda's just like, I want to fuck this dude. And I also want to have a little less guilt over it than I've been having.
Now, again, that marriage was due to end either way.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
But now we know why the urgency was underneath it. So,
and Kyle
if the video came out, because she released it 2 nights after Ciara was like, why is my friend's location saying that she's at West's apartment? And why isn't she answering me when I'm saying, are you at West's apartment? So...
Yeah, it's so obvious. It's if you pitch this to a network as an episode of a procedural TV show, they'd be like, yeah, we know who the murderer is in the first scene.
Exactly.
it's so disrespectful and indelicate of Amanda. We find out from Kyle that as they were crafting that statement about their separation, that was the only time they'd ever discussed the termination of their marriage. As they were writing the words that Amanda had promised to Bravo PR,
Oh my
who she
God.
called before anyone else to let them know, we're going to release a statement so that the public doesn't think that I stayed in a marriage with this man who's so abusive and treats me terribly. I mean, she's as calculated as West. And I wonder if West advised her on that. See, this is what a liar does to me. Now I'm in like a fucking conspiracy
Of course.
tinfoil hat of like West told her to get ahead of it, call Bravo PR, releases it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But then we
Take
try
it to
to,
Reddit, sis.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we try to put the blame back on Kyle. And Amanda claims that he stepped out, which she's intentionally implying that he slept with someone else. But Kyle says, he was inappropriate, but he's never had an affair and he's never slept with anyone throughout their 4-year marriage where no one's needs were met. So we get confirmation that in the 4-year duration of their marriage, they have had no sex. And West's face, the camera is on West's face when that news, and he literally was like, "Ugh," like he looked horrified that she's capable of withholding for that long, that Kyle was capable of being faithful for that long. Like, honestly, no wonder he drinks so much. You got to like put your wiener out of commission if you're not going to use it for 4 years. It's crazy.
And Carl confirms he did not have to do this. Carl confirms, yeah, Kyle got wasted when we were out in the 4 or 5 years we were going out together and partying, but Kyle never acted out. And Carl would not have risked his sobriety by lying on television.
He would have told the truth.
He would have
said,
told the
Kyle,
truth.
come on, man, I saw you.
Exactly.
But he was like, I was out with him for all of these partying ventures and he's drunk and I worried he would do something inappropriate, but he never did.
Like, Carl is pissed at West for being as diabolically like capable of lying as he is, but he's also like, Amanda, are you really, Amanda?
Well, and Amanda's like
really?
using words like stepped out, like
Yeah.
she's trying to paint
she's
a picture that's not
weaponizing
true.
to the nth degree, dude, and it's just
she's lying more.
Yeah, well, yes.
It's just simply not true. Step out to me and everyone else indicates you had sex with someone else. She knows that. She's not an idiot. But the most anyone could possibly confirm is that he maybe kissed someone that Amanda claims she has video of, but has shown it to no one, which is weird. So, okay. And again, Amanda is now a liar, so I don't believe she has a video. I don't believe anything she says.
Oh my God. And so then I did not know that this happened, but maybe you did. But I don't really pay attention to Southern Charm shit. But so Sally Carson is a cast member on Southern Charm. And it was the night before the premiere. Sally Carson from Southern Charm and Kyle made out. And Ciara learned about this. And the first thing she did was call Amanda, because even though they were separated, she still didn't want her friend to be blindsided by learning this. Oh my God, you fucking asshole, Amanda. It just gets worse.
Amanda
dude.
just kept going like, I know. And Ciara's like, I'm just saying this to point out how I treat you as a friend versus how you treat me as a friend. And I was like, yeah, there we have it. Because at that point, Amanda and Wes were surely, if they weren't already in the sack, they were surely towing a line. So if Ciara makes that phone call to Amanda, that would have been a great opportunity for Amanda to say like, you know what, it's okay. And I need to tell you something, like I'm having some fucked up feelings about, and I know you know how these feelings come up because you've had them too. You know what I mean? There were so many
100%
times where she could have done the hard thing and had that conversation, but she chose not to. And now she's confused why everyone hates her. So, okay. And then we touch on Kyle's, makeout sesh with Megan King Edmonds that was captured on the street after a Page 6 party.
God.
And he reiterates it was just a kiss goodnight from his tippy toes. But
He wasn't on
denies.
his tippy toes.
He's
Yeah,
like, I was
he
not on
says
my
he
tippy
wasn't.
toes. I had long pants and she's tall.
Yeah.
And then we go to break.
And then we come back with the scene that made my jaw drop. My jaw dropped and I put my hand to my mouth. My husband was out. I was in the living room by myself watching TV. And I shat my fucking pants. I did. I was not expecting this. I didn't read about it. I didn't hear about it. Like, oh my God. So the cast is let go from the soundstage for their lunch break. They have an hour. And in her dressing room, Ciara FaceTimes a beautiful young woman who we learn is Meija Moreno. And she is the woman that West was in a committed, exclusive relationship with as of February 2025. We see Ciara initiate this FaceTime call. Then we cut to Amanda and West's dressing room, which was, I like, my body temperature is going to go up. It was so fucking infuriating. Amanda is frustrated because everyone is making me feel stupid for trusting you. No one is making you do shit, bitch. No one's making you do anything.
Well, and this was the moment where I think Amanda knows she's a fool to trust him. I think she heard what Dara said. Hard to ignore a statement like that. She heard what Ciara said. She heard what Andy's question, very pointed question of what makes you think you'll be the one? Why do you think you'll be different? I think she knows. I think she does feel stupid for trusting West. And I it's not that I feel sorry for her, but she's stupid for trusting West. We all were. We all fell for it, but she's extra stupid because she's done something so devious.
As my therapist always says, it's opportunities here for you, Ramona. There's always opportunities for you. This is an opportunity, Amanda. These things that feel uncomfortable, that voice that's on that couch with you, that voice that's making you hide under that faux fur blanket, like, you're making me feel stupid. It's like, lean into that. Get curious about that feeling for a while.
And he didn't even say anything. He was just like, he didn't say like, babe, you can trust me. You are different. This, I understand. Like, no, he just sort of like grunted and shrugged. Great. And then he proceeds to coach Amanda. He asks her, should I speak up more? And she's like, I should try to speak for myself. And then Wes warns her not to let Ciara get under her skin because that's her goal. That's what Wes says about Ciara, that Ciara's goal is to get under Amanda's skin. No, her goal is actually to tell the truth, which she's doing an excellent job of. So, God, I hate liars. I hate that. And Amanda was like, did I lose it out there? And Wes says, you acted like anyone who was cornered. And I was like, in a lie. And then he tells her to focus on breath, apologies, and simple statements. And he says, it'll help with composure. And then he goes, and don't sound snippy. And I was like, this guy is terrifying.
Criminal.
Because he says it is like cute, dopey, cartoon dad way, but don't sound snippy.
Criminally misogynistic.
It's
Criminally
so misogynistic.
disgusting.
Oh my God.
Criminally.
And I don't like Amanda, and she does. I was like, oh my God, you two deserve each other. You're awful.
So we cut back to Ciara's dressing room. Kyle has now walked in. He sees that the FaceTime has commenced with Meija and Ciara. And Meija fills Ciara in on, and the cameras and us. Thank you. Thank you, Meija, for doing this. Thank you.
I mean, Kyle pimped her out. He's like, what was your status with West?
So we learned from Meija in her own words that she and West were dating and exclusive all through summer of 2025. She was at his apartment assembling his fucking furniture every weekend that he was in the Hamptons, putting his hand on Amanda's throat.
And kissing that other girl.
Sitting next to Ciara, fucking telling Amanda he loves her in the foyer and
trying to
grabbing her hair.
Ciara into his bed.
Yep.
Yeah,
all of that stuff. So Meija's putting his furniture together at his apartment in New York. He referred to Meija as his girlfriend. He told Meija, what a fucking asshole. He told Meija he could not be in a public relationship with her because he said he'd be fired for dating someone that wasn't in the Bravo sphere. And Kyle says there's no way she could have checked that out because she isn't here. He said she doesn't know the politics of it, which I know he meant like she doesn't know how the sausage is made or what like we can or can't do. But like, that's insane. Everyone dates people that aren't in the Bravo sphere.
It's also, it just speaks to West.
It's
like,
disgusting.
the fact that like he won't just date who he loves. Instead, he's, you know what I mean? And I'm saying obviously he doesn't love or respect her. He doesn't want anything, but it's just such a gross move and yuck. And Meija then starts weeping and she says like, it's so fucking hurtful that he's so comfortable dumping me and then popping out the next day in a relationship with Amanda. And I'm just left to figure that out for myself. She's crying and saying, I didn't ask to be thrown into this situation. Our relationship is that easy for him to discredit. It was so sad because we've all been her, or many of us have, where someone just literally drop kicks you out of their life after, saying making promises and putting a label on it and all of the things. And it's so painful. And my heart just broke for her. And then I couldn't determine if they said that they were going to put her on FaceTime from set.
That's the plan. That's what it sounds like the plan is. I do too. I love it too. I love it.
Yep.
Meija has every right, every reason to go scorched earth. And I can only project and wonder if she's just, is it part that she's protecting her peace? Is it part that she doesn't want to be labeled or looked at a certain way by telling her truth? I don't know. But like, West, you're fucking disgusting.
Well, in West, they cut back to West and Amanda, and West like, well, it's almost over. It'll only get easier from here. And meanwhile, we've seen, the footage of Jesse fully breaking down in tears. And, this young woman who's been betrayed, another person who's been betrayed by West. Like, I don't know. It's so heartbreaking. And truly, West just wants to get it over with. Like, he doesn't seem to have any feeling about any of it, including Amanda. It's just all so gross and sad and wretched.
I've never seen anything like it on Bravo. I've never seen anything like this. This just goes beyond Scandival, it feels like.
It's total destruction of Summer House. Like,
yeah.
It's over. They killed this, and that is their legacy.
I mean, they killed the OG vibe, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. And it can't be the same for these other people. Like, they'll all show up to that house, but it's not fun. Like,
they're going to have to talk about it. It's always going to be the elephant in the room. It's always going to be the legacy. It's always going to be the taint. There's going to be a taint there now, Margie. There's a taint.
Gross.
Okay, friend, what else did you watch this week?
I was Bravo-centric this week. I watched the season finale of Below Deck Down Under. It was a great season. It was great. I watched Southern Hospitality. It was their first reunion episode. I can't remember if they have a second. I'm boring you.
No, you're not. It's just
late. I devolved into the darkness of the city and the valley. So that's that. How about you?
Dude. Yes, also watched In the City. I can't. Okay, I'm not going to fucking be like, they're making me not trust you, West. They're making me watch In the City, Margie. No. I'm fully watching it because I cannot. I'm invested. It is depressing. Some shit makes me just like, oh my God, this is so awful. But I'm in this. If I don't think that if the Summer House people weren't on it, I don't think I'd care because I don't watch The Valley. I can't. I've heard too much. I've seen enough to know that's absolutely not for me. My point is that I watch In the City. I watch Widow's Bay, and I probably watch some Hacks. That's it. That's it. Yeah. And what was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant was Community. In 12 Step Rooms, they say the antidote for addiction is community. And I have this dance community that I've been a part of, just this class that meets once a week on Sundays. And these people are just so wonderful. I'm really, to borrow Jesse's word, truly grateful for them and for that soft place to fall every Sunday. And then my improv community, specifically the Groundlings, my friend and I are pitching a pilot, and we shot a little sizzle reel, which is just like a short sketch to help sell the show. And they want unknown. They want not named people. So we were able to call all of our like great friends from our Sunday company days at the Groundlings, get them in a room together. We thought we'd be there for 4 hours. These people are so fucking hilarious and exquisite. We were out in 90 minutes. We shot out like 6 people in 90 minutes, unheard of. It was amazing. And then I've been taking this workshop with these like old timer groundlings, like old icons. And we had our last class until fall this weekend as well. And we had like a little party at a pizza restaurant down the street. It was just like sweet and lovely. And my heart and my spirit are at rest when I'm in community, you know, like it's less about like solo meditation or any of that stuff for me. Like my heart rate goes down when I pet my dog or when I'm laughing or when I'm around a bunch of people who I really love. And so I got to do that both Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and it was delightful. That was not short. Sorry.
That's okay.
What was your antidepressant this week?
I just want to say I really miss one of the things I miss about living in LA is just being able to like when you were, you know, like, oh, I'm in a Sunday show tonight, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, and being able to just like buzz down Melrose and watch. I really miss that friend. I really, really miss that. Anyway, I would love to walk into that building and see you on that stage. I'll do it again. We'll just have to plan on it. Anyway, okay, this is going to sound weird. Maybe not. To me, it's exciting. To me, it's invigorating. And anything like that has an antidepressant quality. Number one, I had an appointment with an ADHD coach this week, and I really think I like her. And I was like, this is going to be bullshit. But contempt prior to investigation. But I hung in there. And I was like, oh, and she sent me her podcast. And I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, it kind of was like, oh, be careful what you wish for, Ramona. So I might work with her. And I think it would be a good thing. Again, part of what I'm working on, especially with my psychotherapy with psychedelics, is that bad feelings and something happening that I perceive is bad in quotations, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just doesn't feel good. But it is an opportunity for me to, like, again, without ego, look at it and get honest about it. And so something happened last week that I thought was like a setback, when in reality, it was a juicy opportunity to unpack something. And I did a lot of fucking unpacking last Friday night, like a lot of unpacking. And I'm still kind of like stunned by it. Do I feel better? I feel relieved. I feel at ease. I don't know that I feel better, but I'm honest. And anytime I'm honest and have clarity, that to me, it does feel serotonin enhancing. I always thought that I had to feel good all the time in order to know that, like, I was working on something. But that's not true. The fact that I'm feeling and getting curious about what's under the feelings, that's the fucking shit right there. That's the shit. Oh, I could cry. Anyway, that's it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, God, you guys, go get a drink of water. Go do something. Go to bed, wash your face, something, love, stretch, right. Pet your dog, your cat. I don't know. Take a walk, breathe. I don't know. Whatever feels loving. But thank you for joining us as we talked about our strong feelings.
Each of these have been supersized. Each one has been an hour and 15 minutes, right? Like, so these are like gigantic episodes to begin with, and they're all packed with everything that's overwhelming. So anyways, we made it through. We're
1 week left, y'all.
Yes.
And
1 rep left to go.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I really am. They've done a great job building up the suspense. And I'm also, I'm ready for this to conclude.
I am.
Oof.
I am. And we'll have a little bit, like, we won't be completely cut off from the source, because In the City is still going to be.
And those dipshits will still
for sure
warp around the West Village, and people will take pictures. They'll never leave us alone. So
ugly ass shoes.
Yes.
Friend, I love you. I'm so happy I got to talk about this episode with you.
Same.
I'm thrilled about it. Everybody, we send you lots of love, lots of wishes and invitations for self-care and whatever that looks like. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
So we'll talk next week. Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.